So, you want to become a Hellenic polytheist, but you're a little nervous to approach the gods who you think don't know you, and you don't really know them. You haven't started that relationship yet. So, how do you talk to a god? So, a question I get pretty often is that the situation is that I'm new. I'm really interested in becoming a Hellenic polytheist. I'm interested in the gods of Greece or the Greek gods, and I want to begin my relationship with them. So, how do I do that? So, this video is going to address how do you actually talk to a god to form that relationship or a goddess. So, there are two ways I would say. You can do the formal way or you can do the informal way. It's your first time, so I'm putting myself in the shoes of not having a relationship formally with any of the gods. And what do I do? So they're not going to mention two routes. Really, it all starts, I would recommend starting in the same place. Find out what the god or goddess said you're drawn to and why you are drawn to that certain god or goddess, or the gods in general. I mean, it doesn't have to be that specific. But I would start with reading about what they are over, so you know what you're praying for if that's what you want to do. Or if you want to just pray in general, just to say thanks or hi, that's a thing itself too. But I would still just read a little bit online what you can. And then if you want to get very traditional, you can read about the traditions of how people pray. There's your one route. After you get the base of who the gods are and what they're gods of, in general feel of the gods. Like I said, a lot of free resources. You can even ask people online and get their opinions and how they do things. But you got the basis of who the gods are, and you know who you want to pray to. So you can go the one traditional route, research of how generally people do it, or the traditional way is another way to call it, of washing your hands, the offerings to bring and give, praying. If you're praying to the Olympians, for example, you raise your hands up. You're praying to the chthonic or underworld deities, you put your hands, pray with your hands facing down, like that. You can get really formal with it. But if you're brand new, don't know anything other than you have always had a love for Athena, you've always had an interest in Aphrodite, the name Apollo has always rung in your ears. If you're there and you're kind of intimidated by trying, am I doing this right? Am I doing that right? Here's the easiest thing to do. Simply pray. It's really that simple. Whenever you're brand new and you've never done this before, you just literally pray. Like, I thank you, Apollo. And you learn that usually, traditionally, that it's not really, when you're praying to the quote-unquote Greek gods, it's not a asking for, even though some people do. It's thankful for what we have. And thankful in knowing that in the future that I'll still have the gifts that I have. That's the heart of the quote-unquote Hellenic prayer. So yeah, you don't have to get all fancy if it's your first time. If you just want to thank the gods for the new day, for waking up, for love in your life, just thank you, Aphrodite, for the love that's in my family, for the love of my friends, for the love of family, and for the thankfulness that they love me. I acknowledge and I thank you, great goddess. Something that's simple. And it gets easier the more you do it. The more you do it, the easier it gets. Same with everything else in life. I mean, whenever I started, you see my rituals and prayers, it didn't begin that way. And I'm still learning every day. Like I said, I read books. I read what other people's opinions are on certain topics. I read how they do things. I ask questions. That's how you learn. So when it comes to speaking to the gods, first thing I would say is know that they're open and they're wanting to hear you. That they're really willing to listen. There is no formal thing of language you have to say, and there's no way that if you mess something up that they're going to be offended and do that and like block their ears every time you try to get in contact with them again. That's not the way it works. Because they've been, this is a thing I say a lot. You'll see this in some of my videos that we may be new, we may not be that old, but the gods have been around a long time and they've seen every kind of person there is. So there's nothing that you can do that will surprise them. Right? I mean, just think about that. So don't think that you'll try once and you messed up. You're like, oh, I blew it. It's kind of like a first date kind of thing is the way you can think of it. It's not really, but you can get in your head that you're really interested in this god or goddess and you say something, you mess it up forever. It doesn't work that way. The gods, like I said, have seen it all and they know where you are and they know that you're new. And like I said, it does get easier. Anyway, guys, I hope this helped a little bit. Anyway, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye.